All right, so before we put our new e-collar on our dog and just start asking them to do things, we need to explain to them what this new language means. So I'm going to be talking through that process today. And before we even talk about that, we can talk about pre-e-collar conditioning. So before we start to even teach them what this new language means, it's good practice to let your dog wear the collar for days or even a week or longer before you even start using it, to prevent them from becoming what we call collar wise. And that's essentially when a dog understands very well that when the collar is on, they have to listen. When the collar is off, they can do whatever they want. And this happens quickest when we only use the e-collar when our dog's disobeying us or doing something bad. So dog doesn't have e-collar on, starts counter surfing, or doesn't listen to commands, and then we run and we get the e-collar, we put it on, and we start using it. So that is a good way to create a negative association with the e-collar with our dog. So e-collar conditioning is teaching them what this language means, and also starting off by creating a positive association with this new sensation that they're going to be feeling. So I'm going to talk you through this process. So e-collar conditioning, we're going to start by obviously put the e-collar on your dog, let them wear that for a period of time so they get accustomed to feeling it, and nothing changes, right? They go about their day the same, and they're just wearing this new collar. Cool. And then we're going to start with Click+Treat. So what that basically means is we are going to start, as soon as they start to feel this sensation, we're going to build an association with something good. So we're going to start feeding with the e-collar. So we're going to start at 0. So your dog's going to have no stimulation, and we're going to press, and we're going to give our dog food. So it's going to be e-collar, food, e-collar, food, e-collar, food, e-collar, food. Okay? And like I said, we're going to start at 0. So they're not going to feel anything initially. They're going to hear the little click of the button. Okay? So Click+Treat, Click+Treat, Click+Treat. We're going to do that. There's no limit to how many times you can do this. This is one of those things, the slower you take this process, honestly, the better off you're going to be. So don't rush it. You know, you could do this 20 times, or you could do this 100 times. Click+Treat, Click+Treat. And when I say treat, I'm generally talking about their food. 95% of the time, I'm going to be using a dog's kibble or their food versus a higher value treat or something that's less nutritious for them. I'm going to be using just their regular everyday meal. You can use a treat if your dog is not very food motivated, or if you feel that you'd like to do that. So I'm pressing, I'm giving food. Then I'm going to slowly dial up. So I'm going to go from a 0 to a 1. I'm going to continue this process. I don't anticipate they feel it yet. Some feel it at a 1. Some might not feel it till 18 or 20. So don't be too focused on the number. Just be looking at your dog. You're going to slowly dial up. And again, there's no hard, fast rule on how long you should stay at a particular level. I'm going to stay there for at least 10 to 20 presses at each level. But again, if you did 100 at each level, there's nothing wrong with that. The slower, the better. Typically, when we're doing this with dogs, we've got them for two or 3 weeks. So we're on kind of an expedited timeline, and we can do that because we're very in tune with exactly what the dog's telling us inside of each step of the process. So at your home, again, slow is fast. Okay, so take it slow. Don't rush it. You're gonna continue to move up until you start to see that your dog is feeling something. So essentially, what we're looking for in this process is not a noticeable change in your dog's behavior necessarily. We're looking, should be noticeable, but it should not be big. We're not looking for something big. We're just looking for generally a little cock of the head, a little twitch of the ear, a slight change in body language or body posture, they start taking food a little bit slower because they're trying to figure out what is this little tickle on my neck, right? Their brain is working and they're giving us some sort of cue. Cool, continue. E-collar food, e-collar food, e-collar food. If your dog starts to slow down significantly at taking the food, dial down 1 or 2 levels. Continue the process, right? And we want to continue to be able to feed them. We're gonna go up basically until they feel it. We're gonna go until they're giving us some sort of noticeable cue, and then we're gonna continue, but we're not gonna continue to go higher. We're just gonna, that's where we're aiming for, okay? And then we're gonna continue to do that for at least a few feedings, like at the minimum. If you do that for a week, nothing wrong with it, okay? Again, slow is fast. Now our dog understands that anytime they feel the e-collar, food is coming, okay? So once we're there, we're going to layer in loose leash walk. So the concept of loose leash walk. And this period of time is gonna overlap this period of time. Okay, so we're gonna be doing both of these at the same time now. So, and I'm gonna be using this, this tone box. So anytime I press the button, you can hear it, just for visual aid. So when we layer in loose leash walk, we're just gonna put a 6-foot leash on our dog. It can be inside or outside. You want it to be relatively low distraction because we want this to be a challenging but doable for our dogs. So what we're gonna do is, as we put the leash on our dog and we're just walking around, anytime there is tension on the leash, we're going to press the button. As soon as our dog releases that tension, then we're going to release the button. So we are not going to be pulling our dog closer to us. As soon as there's tension, we're going to press until they come closer to release that tension. So like, okay? So anytime our dog walks to the end of the leash, we press this, they feel the sensation, they should turn, they know that means food, so they turn, they come to food, they turn the pressure off, okay? So as we do this, we are teaching our dogs that not only does this have a good association of food, but when they take the pressure off, this stops. So they are, in essence, turning this on and off, on and off, on and off. So, excellent. So now that we've done these two things at the same time, we have a dog that is responsive to collar pressure. So anytime that they have, or leash pressure, anytime that they have pressure on their collar, they are moving toward, they're moving back toward you, okay, in the direction that their leash has tension. So when we have our dog is responsive to leash pressure or collar pressure, then we're going to use the same concept in teaching anything else. So be it sit or place or down or anything that we have to give any kind of directional guidance. If once our dogs understand how to turn this off, and we have any command that we are, so once our dogs understand how to turn this off is to follow where the leash pressure is going, we've made this very clear to them over the course of this process. Then if we want them to sit, we will give leash pressure upward and slightly back, and we will press and hold until our dogs take that pressure off. If we want them to come this way, we will press and hold until they take the pressure off. So we will give directional guidance with this. We're not pulling, we're giving slight leash pressure so that they know they need to come this way. If we need them to come this way, we'll give slight leash pressure this way. Down, same thing. Up, this way, whatever. So if we're guiding them into a sit position, a down position, a place, cot, or a bed, or whatever, we are guiding them, just giving that slight leash pressure so that they will move toward that to turn this weird sensation off. And that's how we start to teach with the e-collar. So that is kind of the mechanics of the e-collar. conditioning process. If you have any questions, let me know. With each dog, oftentimes this looks a little bit different. There's some different ways that we might finesse this or tweak it for your particular dog. So if you have any questions on, I'm missing a piece, or my dog doesn't seem to be responding the way you talked about, then definitely you can post a comment, leave us a message, and we can help troubleshoot that. But I hope this was useful and helpful. See you later.